All right, good morning. Here bright and early at the store, ready to get some groceries. Got to do our daily meal prep today. And so I'm going to take you along so you can see what the process is like. Apples, first thing on the list. Meal prepping. So we got blueberries. Should be good. Actually good. We got 4 pounds in patties for under 20 bucks, which is about as good as you'll find it. Just 1 packet of chicken will do us just fine. Mozzarella. Get a big bag. This goes in my meal preps. Then you get 2 of the Chobani proteins. So we're only going with 1 gallon today. Here for me, a 60 count is under 10 bucks. And under 10 bucks is amazing for 60 days. Let's go with some tangy original. Yeah, I gotta get granola for the yogurt. All right, now that we got these groceries inside, let's get them unpacked. Just a quick overview from grocery store haul. This is a typical bulk week. For breakfast, we're looking at eggs with some peppers and onions, along with bagel and cream cheese. Second breakfast, yogurt with blueberries, strawberries, and granola. Lunch will be chicken and rice with some mozzarella, a little bit of barbecue sauce. Dinner, some ground beef, rice, mozzarella, a little bit of Kinder's seasoning, and snacks throughout the day. We usually have a muffin, an apple, and then a pre-workout drink with some dextrose, Sunny D in it. And then along with dinner, we'll also have a protein shake. First things first, rice. Look, here I have a 20-pound bag of rice. Pro tip number 1, if you're going to meal prep consistently, just go ahead and quit buying the instant rice. You only get like 2 weeks out of a box maybe. This 20-pound bag lasts at least a month. Now, I usually like to hit up my ground beef next. So the 2 meats we do are ground beef and chicken. And the ground beef is great. We'll go ahead and get that going. At some point, I'll have to cook breakfast. Letting the pan heat up. And while it's doing that, I'll give you the real deal on ground beef. A lot of people will tell you to buy the lowest fat percentage you can. Because you get less fat, obviously. But the thing is, you're going to cook out the fat no matter what. Whether it's 80-20, 90-10, 95-5, you're cooking out the fat. And if your fat extraction method is good enough, you'll be able to get out the majority of it. Like, no matter what ground beef I buy, and maybe this is not as precise as it could be, no matter what percent fat I buy, I will usually track it as like a 97.3 or a 95.5, because obviously a little bit of fat gets held on after you cook it. So yeah, first round of ground beef, and then I'll show you guys a very simple way to collect the fat. I like to get a regular bowl. This is a separate trick, but the tinfoil is going to go in the bowl, but you can use it to make it easier to fit in without puncturing holes by fitting it to the outside, and then boom, drop it in. Simple as that. No mess. No mess. And since they're already in patties, I can't really show you this secret hack that Big Beef doesn't want you to know about. But a lot of people also, wooden spatula, get that plastic junk out of here. We don't want no extra plastics in our food. But normally people will just mash it all up to start with. And in my opinion, I think it's harder to get an even cook on everything, and also harder to extract the grease. It's also, when it's in patties, it's easier to pour out. So So we'll go ahead and demonstrate that. But got my little tinfoil bowl. I'm going to hold back some of these patties. And I don't want to get all of it out right now because I still want something for them to be left to cook in. See, we've already eliminated, I don't know if you can see that, yay much grease. So another thing I started last week was I'd added strawberries into my yogurt. I was already doing blueberries. I needed more fruits and veggies. So here all I'm doing is pre-portioning my strawberries and blueberries for the yogurt in breakfast number 2, and that just makes it even quicker to grab and go in the morning. Back to prepping, but I got a pack of chicken here. We're gonna do some oven baked chicken this week. I like to do just a little bit of olive oil, some regular spices, seasonings, onion powder, garlic, pepper. Sometimes I'll do like a mix. This is for steak, but works good for anything anyway. Um, I'll let it cook at probably 20-25 minutes on 420, 425. And then I'll take it out and I'll rub some honey butter, homemade honey butter, over it and let it keep glazing. Okay, a little bit of drizzle. We've got our olive oil on. I like to do the finer seasonings first. Just a little spread, and we're gonna do this to both sides of the chicken breast. You know, there's more flavor. No reason not to keep some flavor, a decent amount in there when you're cooking. You're gonna be meal prepping week in and week out. These seasonings are the type of things that can keep you going when you're tired of it. You see, I've got this pan with this grate on it. So that way, while it's cooking in the oven, we get good air circulation on all parts of the chicken and it'll cook better. All right, and we're at 420 on the oven. Oh, baby. All right, I just realized I have less butter than I thought. Less than a half a stick, maybe closer to a quarter stick, but that'll be okay. Got my honey. Some of you may not know, honey doesn't actually go bad. It may get in this solid state where it's like, you know, super, super thick, condensed. All you do is put it in the microwave for little bursts at a time, and that'll loosen it up. But don't throw away your honey, it doesn't go bad. I'm gonna slice this into a few pieces so it melts better. So the butter melts better. Better butter. And you know, it's not really a measure for this, but the honey will also help develop a little crust on that chicken. I'd say probably a couple tablespoons, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, so we'll take it out probably after about 20-25 minutes. We'll brush on this honey butter, and then we'll put it back in for maybe another 15 to 20 on 425. It sounds like a lot, but some of these thicker chicken breasts take a while to cook through. And then for like the last 5 to 7 minutes, I'll switch it to broil so it cooks purely from the top. Ooh, holla at me. All right, so now we just need the garlic. This is actually garlic salt too, so kinda counteracts keeping it from being too sweet. Be ready when that chicken is ready. Give it a little taste. See, I think that's just phenomenal, but that's just me. We'll let that sit to the side. Boom! If you can afford it, try to get some glass meal prep containers. They're not cheap, but your body will thank you in the long run. That'll work. I don't make it have to be exactly the number I want, like within a few grams. I'm not really tripping over. It's all about averages anyway. You know, what it all averages out to. Because, you know, there are differences in the food that's labeled. You know, how many calories they say it is versus how many it actually is. I don't know if y'all know this, but food companies are allowed to round. And I believe, don't correct me if I'm wrong, that if it's 50 calories or less, they have to round to the nearest fifth calorie. And if it's 100 calories or more, they can round to the nearest 10 calories. I don't even know if it has to be the nearest, or if they can go like 109 down to 100 calories. Tony Satchers, a little bit of like onion powder, just a little something else. Next step is to add some water because we don't want dry rice. Next, man, we're flying. The mozzarella. And of course, you don't have to put cheese in yours, but to me, it's an easy way to get some more calories. You know, almost equal parts fat and protein in this cheese, and it gives it more flavor. You know, just going back to that, what'll make you stay consistent with it? All right, our chicken is done with the first stage. Ooh, look at that. That's better than some of y'all's chicken when it's done. But it ain't even done yet. All right, we stuck that honey butter back in the microwave for just a minute. Now we're going to get it going. Just kind of dabbing, spreading. Man, your food doesn't have to be boring. Spice it up. Add some flavors. Experiment. The first time I did this little glaze, I had added some Kinder's like barbecue peach sauce, and it just straight up wasn't very good. But I ate it anyway that week. We got just enough, boy. Oh yeah, oh yeah, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be good. Get it back in the oven. Like I said, about 15 more minutes. And then after that, 5 to 7 on broil. It's time to plate some ground beef. To throw some sauce on these bad boys. Just goes back to that flavor I've been telling y'all about. You ain't got to eat bland stuff. All right, I've been liking the Kinder's teriyaki on my ground beef. Not sponsored anyway, although I wouldn't be opposed. All right, get some lids on these bad boys. And just like that, our dinners for the week are taken care of. It's not even noon. Our chicken should be almost done. Time to cut into this chicken. You can just see the top of that. Man. Ooh. Ooh. Give it a little try to the end. Oh. Oh, man. That's too good. None of that dry chicken. All right. Now that we have our chicken plated in our bowls, here's what we're going to do. This is a secret they don't tell you in the recipe books. All right, so we got a bunch of good juice, and we've been on the flavor train all morning, and we got one last stop before we disembark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the juice from that chicken that just cooked, and we're going to add a little bit to each one just to lock in that flavor. I mean, that's endless flavor right there. And if you waste it, you know. Now I'm gonna put a little bit of barbecue sauce on it, but no reason to waste all that flavor. This Blue Hog Champions blend, love it. It's good stuff. Boom. 5 lunches, 5 dinners. Really, we got more than that meal wise. We got 12 meals in there right now. So lunch and dinner for the next pretty much 6 days is taken care of. We got a few more steps preparing for the breakfasts. Gonna do a little bit of cleanup, maybe take a break. I mean, it's 11:30. You can't beat that. You get started early. All right, for this step, all I'm doing is pre-filling some granola for my yogurt in the morning, as well as dropping those bagels in. Just a few less steps that I have to do in the morning. Make your systems easier to follow, and you'll do better. All right, so just to wrap it up, this is what we got for the week pretty much. Let's see, we got all our eggs for breakfast. Not gonna eat all those, probably just one tray, maybe about 5 or 6 a day. We got our lunches and dinners all on this row. We got our blueberries, strawberries ready to go to be grabbed with our yogurt, cream cheese with our bagel. Got our hydration drink for the morning. Of course, milk, Sunny D, backup milk and Sunny D. All right, so just to round it out here with a little summary and breakdown from the week, as far as the macros and calories are concerned, we plan for about 273 grams of protein, 466 grams of carbs, and 130 grams of fats, for a total of around 4,260 calories. Now, what actually happened was we had about 281 grams of protein a day, 482 grams of carbs, and 150 grams of fat. So as you can see, all 3 of those are higher than what we planned, but that's okay. at this point in a bulk, I'm okay with being within a few hundred calories of my estimated. Now, the reason the calories were higher was obviously we had more of every single macro, but for things thrown in like some muffins or maybe an extra half scoop of protein, or some days are just a little bit different than others. Like my off days of training, I don't push as many carbs, so things like that affect it. But I know that for me, right around that 4,500 is where I need to gain just a little bit. And throughout the bulk, I'll be pushing that probably closer to 5,000. Now, what did we learn today? We learned some pretty cool stuff. Number one, the fat percent in ground beef really doesn't matter. If you're going to cook it out anyway and your fat extraction method is good enough, which I showed you in the video, feel free to use it. Once you cook it out and soak up most of the fat, it's probably going to be at 95%, maybe even 97.5. But I mean, try it out yourself, do your own calculations, see how much fat you can actually cook out. Number two, honey doesn't go bad. Just warm it up if it gets blocky in whatever container you have it in. Number three, consistency over perfection. If you want to develop good habits and keep them over a long time, it's better to stay consistent. I mean, try to be as good as you can on most things, and you'll do pretty well. But it's a law of averages. Like, if you're a couple grams off on each meal of one item, or you forget to track your seasonings and your sauces for a week, it's okay, right? Just as long as that major intention is there to be as good as you can and to achieve the goals that you have. And finally, flavor, flavor, flavor. There's no reason to eat bland food. If you're going to do this for a long time and you want to stay consistent with it, you got to have food that you enjoy, or at least you can tolerate. So don't be afraid of those seasoning spices. There's so many different combinations. There's sauces. Cheeses are great in my opinion. And then just like I did with the chicken, use the juice that it cooked in. That's so much flavor right there. That's what's going to make you be able to stay on some type of meal prep process over the long course of time. All right, and that is all for today. See y'all later.